Hey everyone, how's it going? Let's go ahead and do fast and easy portrait edits using Adobe Lightroom. It's simple. Somebody just emailed me and actually asked me about it. They're like, hey, do you use frequency separation? Do you do like Photoshop plugins and actions and all that stuff? And I was like, heck no, we don't do any of that stuff. Not at the Jerred Z Universal headquarters. We just do quick and easy edits. I also think that photo editing gets too crazy. Unless you're shooting for the front of a magazine or a billboard that's going to be like 800 feet wide or something like that, we get a little bit too crazy with this stuff. So Lightroom gives us some tools that makes it pretty easy, and we're going to break it down to just a couple easy steps. Let's get started. Here we are in Adobe Lightroom, and we're going to do this edit in under 5 minutes, okay? So quick and easy. It's going to look great. The first thing that I do, the first step, is usually I look at the brightness levels of everything and then the color, right? The warmth and all that stuff. So this one, if I just look at the histogram right here, you can see that the histogram is a little low. I don't have a lot of highlights, so I'm just going to throw the exposure. We're just going to brighten it up. And you might be like, that's too bright, and it kind of is. So we're going to lower the highlights just a touch, and that looks good, right? I think that looks pretty good. Maybe a touch of contrast, barely. Oh, that's looking good. And we also need some warmth. We need to warm it up a little bit. Her skin should be warmer than that. I must have not dialed in my white balance setting with my strobe, so that's what I get. I gotta go and fix it now. I think that looks pretty good. So right off the bat, I'm going before and after. I'm just using the before and after method of checking things out, and yeah, it already looks a million times better. So now we're gonna go in, get closer to her face, and we're gonna look and see if there's any big glaring kind of issues that we have to do. And her skin is amazing. We're just going to do a few things. I've selected the healing brush right here. I've got the healing brush tool selected, not the red eye, which I don't ever really use. You can change the size of the brush and the feathers so the edges are soft and all that stuff. So I'm just going to go in, and I don't get perfect. We're going to get some of the smaller things that kind of stand out a little bit. And basically I'm thinking if we're going to print this thing, what are some of the things that might stand out in a print? And that's kind of my philosophy on fixing some of the stuff. And that's probably good. Like I said, we're going to get most of the skin clarity later. I'm going to work on her eyes now, and now we're going to make her eyes, the color in her eyes just come out a little bit. So we're going to go in the brush tool under the masking, and we're going to click on the brush, and we're going to create a new mask, brush mask, and I'm just going to paint right where the color is. I'm going to be careful not to get too much of the white or the black because I just want to isolate that area. So that's what we're going to do. Just kind of painting that in. And then I'm going to boost the exposure a little bit and warm it up just a touch and really bring out the green and gold flecks that she has. Those beautiful eyes. It's awesome. So that looks pretty good. And next thing we're going to do is we're going to make another mask with the brush. And this mask, I'm just going to paint the high frequency areas of her skin. So we're going to look at just the areas of high detail. The texture tool that we're going to use here in a second isolates the areas of high detail and it softens them up. So that's a great way, especially with someone like this who has some incredible skin. It's a great way to soften the portrait, and it's going to keep some detail there, and it's going to make people look like a human instead of like a glossy like robot, which is important in my book. In my opinion, we do too much photo editing. We do too much people editing. I've seen people do this stuff to like kids, and I don't know. I was a high school teacher for a long time, so I struggle with the idea of always having to have young women especially try to attain these levels of perfection that are not possible. So what I'm trying to do is make the skin look a little soft without looking unrealistic. And I do that pretty fairly quickly with an edit like this. So now that I have her skin selected, we're going to scroll down and we're going to lower the texture. If I go down, you can see a real-time preview of that. That looks pretty good. We're still keeping a lot of her skin, even some of the little marks that she has, but that's okay because that's who the person is, and she has absolutely wildly incredible skin already. And I think we're done with that edit. I think that looks pretty good. Now you could go and do more if you really wanted to, and maybe the client really wants you to do more. They're gonna print this really big and they want everything to look perfect. But I think that this looks pretty fantastic. We're gonna do before and after, before and after, before and after. That looks pretty sweet. Let's get a little closer to her skin there. And you can see all the detail. We still have detail, it's just softened. That looks pretty cool. You know, sometimes we have lenses that are way too sharp anyway, right? Not bad. So there you go. Quick and easy edit. I think you could do this to the top 5, 10 photos that you want to be able to give to someone. And it works most of the time. For somebody with a face like mine, though, does not work as well because my face is kind of unfixable. So that might be, you need some crazy actions and stuff like that just to remove my face and put somebody else on there. But for somebody like her, it looks fantastic. Quick and easy edits are sometimes the best. So get out there and edit your photos. Do it quickly. Do it ethically. Have some fun. Make people look great.